Hey, you guys.
I'm always doing... Okay, I think we're good. So, we are going to give you guys a special weekend reading. I mean, you know, I always try to do a weekend reading. But this time, Dale is actually here, y'all.
Here I am.
Dale's here.
You're getting me, too.
He's here.
Double the pleasure. So, hi.
Whoa,
we didn't let you guys know we were going live.
You were not expecting it.
Here we are.
Good night.
Pluto is now direct.
Pluto's direct,
Thank
you guys.
God.
Yes.
It was retrograde for a couple of months, and it is direct right now. Hi.
The table's moving. These cards are sticky.
It's hot here in New York. It's a muggy day.
Like, yeah, it's humid.
Oh.
The cards are humid.
How's the temperature where you guys are? It is like, oof. Hi, guys. Hello, hello, hello.
It's still my birthday week, y'all.
The moon is in Leo, just so you guys know. The moon, it is in Leo right now, so look for the drama of life tomorrow, right? Friday. Look for it.
Right.
Okay?
What are you passionate about? What are you feeling passionately about? How are you expressing yourself passionately? Right? In creative ways. All right. We're going to do an abbreviated.
And also heart's desires.
Right.
And family. Leo is very much about family and children. In particular, if you have children or want them. Or your creative endeavors. Those are your children.
Like what matters, right?
Yeah, and expressions. Extensions of self, really. Because when you think about what matters, just in general, you think earth, structure. But when you think about what matters to you, spirit, you think fire. You definitely do. You think fire.
I'm not talking about
because your dreams,
things, you guys,
are like your children. Some people dream of having children. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, that's an extension of you, right? And that's what children are. So Leo is really talking about your creative extensions, right?
Okay, you guys. So at the bottom of the deck, I don't know if you can see it. It's the Ace of Swords. It's talking about new truths, change in focus, new ideas.
Yeah, it could be like a new struggle.
Maybe you found something out.
New mental information, new logics.
I feel like you guys may have
She's
found
like, yes,
out.
You saying yes already? You got it already?
Exactly.
It is a refreshing card.
Communication, something with a Scorpio. We got the Sun in Scorpio here at the top of the reading.
Okay, yeah. That's rising, so that's a future card.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, you know, we're getting to a place, or a lot of us are getting to a place. But that's ironic because Scorpio is in the future for us, right?
Pluto. And it showed up in the reading too. 3 aces already, you guys. So we're going to look at this and then we're going to get you guys this information before we peace out. We have a new moon in a few days. So that's definitely talking about something here as well. Alright, so you guys might be feeling nostalgic about something. It could be an emotional or someone saying themselves to you in a way that you're trying to understand what it is that they actually are meaning, right? What's the meaning behind something? You're wondering about it, you're feeling some kind of ways about it. You're thinking like maybe there's something that might be blocked that you don't understand by this person who's trying to express something, who is doing it in a way that might not be very clear. It's like things might just actually be happening. You know, it's almost like a naive expression, if you will.
I am getting a very stubborn energy out of this reading a little bit. There's a lot of fixed energy, so a lot of us are in the middle of things. We've initiated something in our lives, and we are hoping or hopeful that there will be more to be, you know, more to come out of this situation. Because what I'm seeing here with the kings being here especially is like decisions that need to be made, because the kings are paired with the twos, right? So they're talking about forks in the road and choices that maybe with rigidness somehow, because kings can be very rigid. There is a male in the majority of a lot of our thoughts right now. You could be the male, or there is a man, and this man affects you, affects what you desire. It's not even emotionally as much. It's like he affects whatever it is that you're already dealing with him. He could be the love of your life, or he could be someone in your life like your father or your son or a boss. I mean, it's someone that you respect and admire more than likely. And if it's not a male, which more than likely it is, it's talking about your creative endeavors. You could be fixed on an interest, especially something that you feel very passionate about, or a craft, something that you're
Right.
very good at, or someone
It's
that
in
you
the
love.
past position too, so it's something
Yeah.
that already has
It's
happened,
established, exactly.
or it already exists, or this
During
person is
summer,
already involved
And the
with
timeline
you.
of things, it could
Right,
have been during the
exactly.
summer,
Right.
during Leo season.
I feel like it is talking about taking initiative and being held accountable for some things, or maybe you guys might be wanting to hold some other people accountable, because the kings are people who can really admit to their mistakes sometimes. You know what I mean? When they make them. And there are 3 kings here. You do have 3 water cards
You
as
are
well.
the only man you like on this planet.
So there are some emotional ties to these people. I'm seeing like Capricorn energy as well, and some of you are identifying with just the sense that you really want to establish something for yourself, right? And it's like that's what some of your desire is. It's like the desire has yet to be found, right? Because you're still like swimming in like this water replacement of like just being like neither here nor there about how you feel. It's almost like you're stuck in one place because you don't want to make a choice about moving forward about something that you know would probably be better for you, but you're just kind of like sticking with what you know because you know that you can kind of just like keep going with it that way. But there are opportunities that kind of like want to be presenting themselves to you, and you kind of feel like they're approaching, or you're like in it right now with the opportunities that are happening. Or you can see yourself succeeding if you take advantage of an opportunity, or if you just even initiate something, because the 3 aces here, you have the Ace of Pentacles, you got the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords is here. So you know something, right, about the situation that needs to change, because the aces are talking about change. And then you got the kings here. So maybe some people have actually provided you some help or some assistance, or maybe there's been some resources that have been identified, and you know that you can use those to initiate new plans.
I'll repeat, I'm getting a very stubborn and rigid energy out of this reading. And maybe that's just because everybody's getting to a place where they feel very fixed about what it is that they want or what they feel or they desire. Like everybody is kind of on their track in their mind about what they think is going to be successful and how to make it happen. Now, if you're a female especially, you could be thinking about the pleasures in your life right now. There could be 3 different men in your life. There could be several different men in your life right now. If you're a male, you could be being very selfish right now, being very rude, especially if you're like a straight male. You could be dealing with a lot of different men at work. Maybe there are 3 different men. Maybe you have a lot of brothers, or you have a father and some brothers, or there's a lot to do with business, because the kings are always talking about kingdoms and running and ruling things. And in order to be a king, that means that you've overcome something, because you were a page at one point and you were a knight, and now you're a king. So you are a chief. So you know, and there are good kings and there are bad kings, but you are someone who is respected.
High-ranking people,
right?
yeah.
Someone who is very high-ranking. You know, these are very powerful players with the kings, and we have 3 kings here and a queen. So you're talking about very powerful players here. Very strong players, very stubborn people, everybody. There's a Leo who's stubborn, possibly. There's a Taurus, possibly, who could be stubborn in this situation. There could be a Libra or Aquarius energy that's stubborn here. And in the end of it all, there's a reveal that's happening, because Pluto is here as the outcome, and that's talking about the cold, hard facts of the situation, right? With Pluto being here, that's the Judgment card.
Right.
So that's talking about the sun's 360 degrees. So we end it. We know what it is. It shined on every side of the planet, and we know what it is now. So it's like, if you're not looking at things, or if you haven't had things uncovered, things are going to be uncovered, because that's what Pluto does.
Right.
You know, it rules the 8th house of Scorpio for that reason, to uncover. It's going to take off. And the funny thing about Pluto is that it's something that has always been there.
Right.
That's the scary thing about Pluto. It's not something that just came out of the blue.
Right.
Pluto is like, and I was here like this the whole time. Right? That's Pluto.
It's
Is
kind
it a
of like
planet, isn't it?
restitution too, you know what I mean? Because it's like once you realize that Pluto actually is in control, then you can actually use it in a positive way to transform yourself. You know what I mean?
It is talking about transformation.
It is talking about transformation
It's
to
small steps.
relinquish control so that you can actually afford yourself more control.
Like, you think about it, it's not always talking about a scary death, even though it does rule death and the finite idea of what that
Right.
means. But it's
The
not necessarily
freedom that happens.
right. Like, you die every night.
Right,
Technically, there's a
right.
small death that goes on when you go to sleep.
You're not like,
And
I
you
wanna
wake
go to
up the
sleep.
next day.
I don't wanna
Right, you're not like afraid to
go to sleep.
You know what I mean? Well, you could be.
You might.
Some people are afraid to go to sleep, actually. So it just depends on your personality. But it's like the death of the matter is, it is what it is. You need sleep every night, so it's going to happen. And your body will literally take it if you don't give it. It's just something that it needs.
I feel
you know?
like a lot of you may have let people in the past feel like you have not been worthy of something, right? Because these are high-ranking cards here, and you have the you have Moon next to the Ace of Cups, and then you have the card too. So when I'm looking at all this Pluto energy, I feel like these are like things you can't really actually make you who you are, right? So it's like very difficult for you to realize that you actually play a part in this too, right? And that's the difficult part. It's like moving on from those thoughts of feeling like everyone did it to you.
It's also really talking about your own quiet emotional struggle. Which we all have, right? Because that's what the moon is
The moon
about.
is right in the center
so
of
the
the
moon
reading.
is going on at night while everybody is
Right.
asleep. These are hours at night when everybody's asleep.
Right.
So this is your own quiet journey that you go through emotionally. Nobody else's quest that you
Right.
suffer with, how you deal with what your hopes and your
Right.
dreams are.
Right. It's almost like your interactions with people also sort of like prompt these feelings, or they like they remind you of things from the past, reasons why certain things happen. It's crazy. Like you would never even understand like why these things are sort of like sparking in your mind, right? You're like, oh, those are the pants that so-and-so used to wear. They were the ones who were favored by, you know what I mean? It's like shit like that, you know? No one can actually get to that place like the moon is. You see the moon, we're relating with it, we can't really get to it, right? No one is going to really understand why it is that you feel so strongly about something that you
Right.
should
No
be
one
moving
else can
along,
get to
moving away from.
Right. Because the actual, traditionally, there is a face in there, too, in the moon. So it's like that symbol of that is really kind of the Aquarian in the face of enlightenment. Like you getting through the struggle to get to that whole thing that will struggle for you the whole time, right? And it could even have to do with your body, especially because our body has our identities, right? And our bodies are receptive to the orb of the moon is receptive to it. Whatever you're taking in from the earth, you are what you eat in that sense, right? Whatever you're taking in is
And
what
that's
you
your
become.
karma.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like Saturn has kind of creeped into the ring a little bit because we do have the Queen of Pentacles here, right? So we're thinking about, and we got the King of Pentacles here too. So you're thinking about, you know, like Taurus and Capricorn energy, right? But with the Capricorn energy, it's almost like those things that you make a habit, you become those things, right? So if you make a habit of like thinking a certain way, if you have a habit of feeling a certain
Emotions,
way, if
right.
you have
These
a
are
habit
emotional
of doing
habits.
things the same way, right?
Yep.
It's like you just kind of like get used to it, and then you go back to those places.
And they're crutches.
Yeah, you
well,
revisit.
I'm this way because this is how we were in this world.
Right.
You know,
You're
which doesn't
revisiting.
make it right.
You're revisiting the pain.
Judgment,
Why are you
right.
going back to it?
Doesn't make it right.
What was that
Just
thing?
makes what it is.
What was the thing that I sent to people on Instagram today? It was like, when God delivers you, don't keep in touch. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Don't
No,
keep in
it's
touch
profound.
with it,
I've
honey.
never heard it.
Leave
Don't keep in
it.
touch.
It hasn't
Yeah.
really done anything for you now. You know what I mean? Up until now. It's like if people have
Okay.
been making you feel not worthy of something, then stop allowing them to make you feel not worthy of something. What is it about their opinion about what you do that means so much to you? And what it is doing.
Right. Well, that's this kind of energy, which is like fixed on the spirit of it, right? Like, why do you feel a call to action? What happened in the past? Was there a male that provoked the situation for you? Because I'm looking at this now where you want to enterprise now, because these are in opposition.
You really want
You
to change
really
the
want to
focus.
mentally, like, because that's what you're doing right now, is mental enterprising,
Right.
doing mental exercises
Right.
to try
It's
to
like
make something
psychological
happen
things, yeah.
that you feel in a spirited way. And it's not an emotional thing either. It's a passionate thing. It's like a slow burn. It's like, you know, by keeping the fire alive, in order to keep the fire alive, you got to keep putting wood in it. You have to keep feeding the fire. So that's what you're doing.
Right.
You're feeding the fire, you know. You want to feed it,
Right.
right? Because you're fixed on maybe a male air sign, right? Right now, the King of Swords could be like that. Could definitely be a male who's air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy.
It's so interesting too because, like, for me, you know, we guys have lots of interpretation of the cards because the Ace of Swords is at the bottom of the deck, and it just strengthens the energy of the
like
King
all
of
the
Swords
swords.
being in the center of the reading at the bottom, and then the Ace of Swords, or not the Ace of Swords, the Six of Swords being over. It's like so much Aquarius energy. So you're changing the way that you think about yourself, and you're doing it in a mature way, because you are not your... You are your scars, and you are your, you know, your bruises, and all of those things that still stay with you from your past. But it is time to understand how they are going to transform you into becoming the person that you want to be, right? It's like you don't want to stay attached to all of those things that have, you know, made you feel weighed down in the past, and almost like you can't get away from them. There's a lot of fixed energy here in the reading, you know what I mean? But then there's a lot of cardinal energy as well. So it's talking about letting go of something.
Not yet, but soon. Age of Aquarius.
Right, very soon.
Very soon.
And these are very Aquarius cards.
And this is like all have been kind of fixed in a certain type of energy. This is very in the middle as well. Six of Swords is the immediate influence. King of Swords is the immediate influence as well. That's the present. The King of Swords is present, and then the Six of Swords is the immediate influence, and then the the Ace of Swords is the outcome. So it's like getting it down. Right.
I was just saying you're realizing the truths about things.
Yeah, it's like
you're questioning
analyzing
what the truth is.
And it's affecting you emotionally because people are on the water. Right. You can't, it's not really clear. It's not really clear what you're trying to get to in this thing. You just know you won't be where you were anymore. And you won't be thinking how you thought before anymore.
Right.
And so that is an exciting possibility in this. That's where the mental struggle is. Knowing that you need to move on with your emotions. It has to happen.
Right.
You want it.
Right.
And
it is up to you.
And Spirit wants it for you.
Right. Because you can't rely on someone else that has hurt you to fix the pain for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do it.
Right. Because this is definitely something that affects your mind with Aquarius energy is like you. Your mental, you know, and it is about future stuff. And it's about exaltations and getting to a place spiritually. Okay? And then you manifest this real thing in your life. Maybe have a male in your life in the ways that you want to. Or maybe start to get the reputation. Because this is very much about reputation. These two cards together especially.
You gotta stop making making people pay for something that someone else has done.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because it really is not their job to clean up someone else's emotional mess that they've
Or more importantly, to clean up your emotional mess.
Your emotional mess. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right, basically, your emotional mess.
It's up to you to do it, actually. Look at the Queen of Pentacles looking at the moon, being like, okay, those are my emotions. The Ace of Cups, they're overflowing in the emotional house.
And it's like, because this is actually an exaltation too. Yeah. You know that, you know what, you know it. That's why hopefully moving on, but it is affecting you emotionally. Like the thoughts are affecting you emotionally. And every time you analyze something, you get feelings from them. Now it's like this aha moment. You're like, oh, that is hopefully another current won't work. You know, like, the truth. You're realizing things are actually coming into focus, right?
And what you have been getting is you've been getting like those downloads from the universe, right? It's like the Judgment card being Pluto being
Right. And this is an association with the lover, 6. So it is deep feelings associated with this. Deep feelings are being caused from all of this mental activity. There is a lot of mental activity going on. But you got a lot of aces here too. So it's kind of saying that things are changing and there are a lot of new beginnings going on. There might be some anxieties because of those changes depending on what kind of sun sign you have. Some people like mutable are going to be like, okay, yay. And fixed people are going to be like, I don't like it. It's changing.
Right. We're going to get ready to read it. But what I'm getting is I'm going to give you my point. I'll let him make one more quick point. But the point is that when you feel like it is happening, let it happen. You know what I mean? It's like, don't fight the transformation that you actually really are aching for. Let it happen. And it's like you're going to be getting those messages and they're going to be coming in. You're going to be having those realizations, those epiphanies. You're going to be relating past to your present. You know what I mean? And your future. So then, you know, you're going to be making these realizations because you lived long enough to know, you know, where your patterns might be, how you allow other people to affect you, how you affect other people, because it's actually uncovering real truths about self as well. Yeah. You know?
I mean, you can't, and we are rounding out Pluto. Okay, this is the second to last card, basically. We're talking completion and finite stuff here. The reveal and the truth. This is very dense and very factual. So this is like you trying to hide from yourself, forget it. People, you trying to hide from people, forget it. You trying to hide your actions and think that somebody can see what you're doing, forget it.
Right.
It's being seen. Right. You're being seen.
And Pluto is
so it's like how you deal with being seen is really up to you at this point. Because you're being seen. This is a very dense card. It's just very like what it is. Now, how you deal with that truth is up to you. But there are some truths out there, and they're very understood truths. It's just like I'll leave it with this when I talk about thoughts. A lot of the times when I'm reading people sometimes, I have to encourage them to remember that they are not their thoughts. We are antennas and satellites. And your thoughts are going out. So you're not really thinking your thoughts most of the time unless you're maybe reading something and taking something in and thinking the thought. You know what I mean? Most of your thoughts are going out. So what's in your brain are other people's thoughts.
Right.
So who you hang out with, who you spend time with, your family, your habit, your routine, those people's thoughts are the thoughts that are affecting your life.
Right.
So if you don't like the way that people think who are around you, you probably want to think about that. It's Pluto time now.
Exactly. Yeah, the real truth. All right, okay. If you want a reading from us, email providencetarot@gmail.com. If you want individual reading, @gmail.com. I'm Providence Tarot. Time to money. Okay. Time to move on, honey. Right, exactly, and that's the relation that you make.
Yeah, follow us on Providence Tarot IG because we do the weeklies on there. And like, yeah, this was very dense and powerful with that placement there. Like we said before, Pluto is direct. We said that, and then we dealt the deck, and Pluto was the last card that came out. So the reveal is not in retrograde anymore. Stop hiding. And for some of you that like to hide, feel you, but you're exposed.
You guys do your manifestations for this Libra new moon, Think about this. That's what she said on one plan. You guys think of your manifestations and how you're going to start a new phase in this Libra new moon. The new moon's on the 8th of October.
Don't forget, haters want to hate. Ball, motherfucking ball. Bye.
Bye, guys. Gotta do it. Okay.